Yeah, so much for the last one I shot. I'm at the laundromat right now. I'm back in Illinois. Back in Chicago, Illinois, excuse me. I'm only bobtailing for right now. But you can see in the reflection in the mirror, in the glass window, you can see the red truck that I'm in. You see the reflection, you can see it don't have no trailer on it. So you can see in the rear view mirror, there's a parked car right behind me. Yeah, I'm still loaded. I still did not deliver yet. My boss mechanic said I can bobtail. I did ask permission first, of course, and he said I can wash my clothes and come back to the yard. And he did say I do have an option. He said it's my call if I want to use a car. If I want to use a car and drive to the laundromat or the truck, so I decided to use a truck instead. I got all my stuff in here. So anyway, I don't know, man. Compared to last year, 24, and 2 years ago, year before last year, 23, I was a little bit more savvy and impatient when it comes to driving them Kenworths, especially the white one. I was a little bit more too desperate. A little bit too desperate. A little bit too anxious. Impatient. No, I'm not saying I'm a brute animal. I'm not saying I'm a brute animal. But I'm just saying, I was like, I don't know, man. It's like, I'm not saying I'm a bad person either, but it seemed like my mindset was kind of slightly off. Kind of wrong. I apologize for that. Even though I got lucky, you could say maybe I got a little blessing here and there, but yeah, I did quite do a lot of great speeding, alright. I had to speed at the right time. Yes, I did bump it up to 7. I'm talking about 23 when I first started out. Yes, I had to do a lot of it. Well, somewhat a lot of it, but not that much. I didn't have to go that far. Sometimes I kind of went past the edge where I was distracted. I was, I don't know how to describe it. We all got a mindset, I'm not trying to put my own self on a spotlight. I would like to be honest. I really did have some kind of weaknesses I did not see. But I have mastered it quite a bit. But I still condone the speeding though. Only at a certain time. Yes, I know you can get hooked and distracted, but the thing is, the yo-yos and the a-holes are out there. And if the criteria doesn't fit, the speed is required. Driving slow is what most people like to do, and they're not gonna match my level, and I have to do what I have to do. I will use whatever lane to benefit myself, but I'm not gonna, if they start messing with me out there, I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to get away from them. Tailgating, I don't mind going this way. Oh yeah, today's a Sunday, I forgot. Yeah, today's Sunday. Yesterday, no, I'm not the same. My days off now, so I don't get no ideas. Yesterday, yeah, I'm having problems with the tablet too. Yeah, I did kind of go in violation. What was it? 3 days, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? About 3 days ago. All right, somewhere in North Carolina, I pulled over. Right after I picked up this load right here. The trailer that's in the drop yard. Not, since I'm still, even though I'm bobtailing. Picked up this last load, drove about 5 miles, 3 miles down the road. I had to pull up inside of one of them old supermarket plazas, very old, old-fashioned supermarket plaza. I had to pull up and camp out there for 10 hours. because I was already in violation, so I had to finish driving. I had to relocate and pull up in the supermarket parking lot. So I stayed there for 10 hours all the way till night. Got up and left and started driving. Pulled up at a Walmart this time, somewhere in, let me see if I can remember. Was it Virginia? Yeah, some part of Virginia. It's either West Virginia or Virginia, one of them. And I sat there for another 10. Yeah, I did burn out. I burned out normally, and I pulled over on time, and I was not in violation. So, yeah, I pulled over, and I had about probably an hour and a half left for driving, and then I pulled over. So I managed to charge back up. And another thing, yeah, I got up and left, drove, and came all the way up to here in Chicago, near my home base. And I finally made it, dropped the trailer. Oh yeah, I did check on my Volvo. I checked on my Volvo. Yes, the batteries are not only all the way dead, they have been brutalized to the max. I caught them up. I managed to rebound or mount a comeback. I managed to mount a comeback or rebound on the batteries the last 2 to 3 weeks ago, since before I came out here the second time. The first time when I came out here in this red Cascadia, then I went, yeah, like for 2 weeks, I went back to the yard to, what did I do? Went back to the yard, like for a 10-hour break or so, fool around with my truck, and then I managed to start it. It came back. So now I went back out the second time, came back just now. Stayed out for 2 weeks again, came back just now, fool around with the truck, and all of a sudden, nothing. It's dead. But I did hook that orange generator up to it. It usually brings it up when, even if it's dead. If it's dead and it's been sitting over for 5 or 10 hours, it will usually come back. The generator will bring it back. Even the little tiny leads, like the size of them cables right here, it would usually come back, but this time it couldn't come back. It only cranked over slow. It usually would crank over a little faster, but I left it on the battery for like 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. It can't come back because the amount of times that it's like, pretend this is the Volvo. It's like the amount of times since I stayed homeless outside. When I had to relocate the truck and drive it out on the street and park somewhere else. It's like I would start it, drive it. I had that water separator, the fuel separator problem. I would drive it. I would try to max out. I would try to climb up to 45 and 50. And I would have to shut the engine off, click, and drive it in neutral, let it roll in neutral. And it would coast downhill and go uphill and coast down, like it would coast on the straightaway, like over here. I even did it right here a couple of times too. Did it right here like once, twice, or 3 times. Drove my Volvo right here. Like it's going up an upgrade, like how fast a truck might be going. It'll be in neutral, but the engine will be cut off. And then I'll just pass underneath the lights and wait for it to go downhill again. And then turn the ignition on and wait a couple of seconds. And then crank it up, and then we start up, and then I slide it in the gear and, haul ass again. And then, I had to mess with it like that. So I had to keep cranking, I had to keep messing around with it because I had a fuel filter problem. So that problem went away for a while, but then it came back because I didn't change the fuel filter on time. But I got other issues wrong with it. The turbocharger seal is leaking. So I'm trying to save up and see if I can get it fixed. So despite all that brutality I had to put on those batteries, I knew those batteries were going to go out. I knew they were going to go to waste. I figured. I knew it wasn't gonna come back. I wasn't expecting it. The first time when I pulled away with this truck and came back 2 weeks, it cranked up. It almost pulled over. It almost started up slow, but it fired up pretty fast. But I wasn't expecting it to come back, really. I thought it would, but I wouldn't. Because I had to brutalize it with a starter that many times just to reach somewhere. But anyways, I guess I'm going to stash away, reserve another $1,000. I'm not going to buy one of them cheap, affordable, what do they call them? I forgot them. I'm not going to buy one of them cheap, affordable truck batteries. Even if they are that good. I'm buying the expensive type. The same types like what I had, just like the last ones I bought. Usually they'll cost $700 for a pair, 4 batteries, $700, $600, maybe cheaper. But in my case, I went all the way up to $997. I went up to close to $1,000. I'll do it again if I have to. But I'll try going a different direction with a truck. Another thing, even though, yeah, it took me, yeah, this was a 900-mile trip. So it took me 2 days to get up here. So I just let go the trailer in the drop yard, and I'm just waiting for my clothes to get done. I might pull off and go to the Walmart store. I don't know. But I don't know, man. It's like I had planned. I said this before. I had planned on stashing away at $10,000 because I don't really feel like sticking it out too long with these trucks. But you know what? I figured out it might have to be 15 again. About the same price of my truck. Not because I'm going to be covering $15,000 worth of parts just to refresh it. Not that kind of $15,000. It's more like the 10 grand is just going to cover the minor stuff. You know, like, you know, refreshing the air valves, refreshing the suspension level valves, suspension level adjuster valves, air valve diverter boxes, you know, like stuff that you know, them little big old square boxes, some of them small, some of them big, you know, that control the suspension level valves, you know, like the airbag suspension, all of that stuff, the entire airlines. Yeah, I'm going to replace those. I'm thinking of getting a brand new turbocharger. I'm thinking of, yes, getting the fuel injectors cleaned. I'm gonna pay for labor for that. Maybe I'll replace the injectors if they're affordable. If they are affordable. If not, I'll just keep them. Definitely gonna refresh the shims, like how they say it at M&K Volvo truck centers. Refresh the shims, get brand new shims for the rocker arms, the rocker arm shafts, valve lash adjustment, and that's about it, pretty much. That's only underneath the valve cover. That's all I'm going for. Not the only thing, but you know, I'm thinking of getting a fresh turbocharger, not for this truck, for my truck. And then what else? I already took care of the lift pump myself. Definitely I'm gonna replace the fuel pump. Even if there ain't nothing wrong with my fuel pump, even though there ain't nothing wrong with it now, I'm gonna refresh it. And the starter, I'm thinking of doing that one too. There ain't nothing wrong with the starter at all. The starter is like invincible. It looks old and kind of rusty on the outside, but on the inside, it's almost better than the starter in this truck. But I wouldn't mind refreshing it also. Or maybe I'll buy a spare brand new one and put it in the back, and then I'll keep the old one. And what else? Pretty much that's just mostly it. That's just at the beginning. That will bring the truck in reasonable, perfect condition. It will be good enough as this one. That is affordable. $10,000 should be able to cover that. Now, turbochargers, you see they're gonna be probably brand new or used. No, brand new or rebuilt. It's either one of those. I'm taking one of them avenues. I'm gonna start out that way. And even if that truck is in perfect condition to do owner operator or whatever, I might use it. I might go owner operator. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Back down. Back off. Hold on for a second. It just crossed my mind. I gotta remember the consequences of being owner operator or lease purchase. You know, they're about the same. I forgot. He said I got to pay trailer rent, freight, insurance, and all that. Well, to tell you the truth, if I was to try that with this one, let's say if I was to climb out of this truck and go in my Volvo and be owner operator, because even though this is not a company truck, this, I'm going to say it again, this is not a company truck. This is a borrowed, or no, this is more like an owner. This is an owner operator truck, but I am not owner operator. This is an owner operator truck, but I am not owner operator. I am still. It's more like I'm getting apprentice pay or company pay. That's it. I'm only a company driver or an apprentice driver driving this truck to put money in my pocket to keep myself active and to put money in the owner operator's pocket also. That's what it's for. That's what I am. I am not an owner operator. I do not own this. I am not lease purchasing this truck at all. I am just doing the same regular company routine no matter what. I hope, you know, when the first time I did this, when I shot the video of this truck, I hope y'all wasn't getting ideas thinking that this was a company truck anyways. Nah, it's owner operator, but I'm driving this guy's truck for him, but I'm getting paid my share. That's all it is. But the thing is, it's coming from my boss's authority. It's coming from his authority. He's in charge of my paycheck, not the owner operator. I don't think he's. I think maybe for some reason I maxed out 6 the first time. No, the second time. Was it? I think it was 6. Was it 600 the first time? Yeah, somewhere about. Yeah, because I landed on half of the week. Yeah, I did run into a problem where I left the paperwork at the receiver because what do you call it? The signals or the system for the, what do you call it? The EFS check for the lumper fee, it wasn't working. It was either disabled or out of service. It was error. I kept getting error messages. Went to the customer, went inside the warehouse to the receiver, spoke to the dock manager, the one that's in charge of the lumper fee. He says he's having problems too. He can't get it. He can't receive any codes on his side. So the third thing I tried between me and him, the third thing I did was I called customer service for, I think it's EFS customer service. They're also having the same problem. So maybe the system is down or something. So I made a mistake. Well, I didn't make a mistake. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I went ahead and tried to save the other load from going to waste. And then I hooked up to it. No, I got the trailer loaded. And I said, all right. Well, the dispatcher got disappointed and upset. And of course, my boss got disappointed and upset. So I said, all right. You see the two things. I think I did tell my dispatcher and my boss. Yeah, I think I told my boss that too. Told both of them. It's either I'm going to go back and try to get the bills. as much as I can, or they're gonna have to take the $200 lump fee out of my paycheck. I can't fix it. If I can't fix it. So the dispatcher said it's possible I might not have to do that. But the thing is, I told them that I am determined to do it. I will do it. If it's my fault, then so be it. I will do it. But up till now, since today's well, you know what? I gotta go inside and get them clothes out of the wash in a minute. Since today's Sunday, yeah, tomorrow's delivery day. I'm in the north side of Chicago, the northwest side of Chicago, but my delivery is in Juliet, Illinois, tomorrow morning. Not only was I out of a job and somewhere on the northwest side of St. Charles, Chicago, St. Charles in Chicago, but I was also down in Juliet. I even relocated and went down Juliet, Illinois with my Volvo. Stayed homeless outside in it, down in Juliet for a while. So, and that's when my boss called me on the phone and told me that I got letters in the mail, and I said the reason why I couldn't go over there and get them is because I thought y'all would come after me for trespassing. I didn't want to trespass on your property, and I sure didn't want to call them because I thought they were kind of stuck up and didn't want me to be there because I didn't have no desire to keep the job and all that stuff. I thought they didn't want to talk to me and all that stuff. That's why I never said nothing to him. I never texted them when I left. But they sound pretty okay about it, so they said I can come over anytime I want. He didn't hire me at the time though, but this was like 3 weeks ago somewhere. Well, about 4 weeks ago somewhere. It kind of went by fast since I've been in this truck. Yeah, so when I stayed, I was like parked at I was parked somewhere behind a hardware store. No, not a hardware, a shoe store or something like that. I was parked behind a store, and that's when I was talking to him in the hot sun. You know, I was sitting behind my Volvo, talking on the cell phone, sitting in the steering wheel. So what happened is, when he said I could come over anytime I want, he said, yeah, you know, he said they ain't got nothing against me. I said, oh, okay, that's all right. I didn't know that because I told him, you know, I thought y'all kind of stuck up because the way I left the job and stuff. I thought nobody didn't want to talk to me. So anyway, right after that, then came the second introduction. Now he mentioned the red casket. He said, hold on for a second. Let me see if I could chase this guy down. Let me see if I could catch this guy and tell him. He said he might have some work for you. And all of a sudden, he checked. I don't remember. It's either he hung the phone up or what. But anyway, he must have called back, and then he told me he got in contact with him, and he told me what's gonna happen. And that's when he said I could come work for him, but he said I'm gonna be driving a red Freightliner Cascadia. I said, what? And then he said, well, you know, of course, all of my this company's trucks are mostly broke down. Half of them are occupied by other drivers. So that's the reason why he said on his side, I didn't have no trucks to drive. That's why I got let go. The truth is, I really did pull away from the job. I did it about twice. I pulled away and kind of went on vacation on my own, but I went broke. And then the second time, I really pulled away for sure. And then I stayed unemployed for like 3 months, pretty much 3-4 months. So all I gotta say is, yes, I said it's better this way. It's too bad that I'm in my defeated stage still. I still feel kind of numb to the chorus. I feel traumatized. I feel like I lost hope, man. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm gonna try to describe I'm gonna try to describe my emotional side a certain way. It's like my molecules or my cells are burned out. I can't tell if I'm alive or dead. It's like I feel like I'm having a nightmare. That's just the way that's my way of describing it. But at the same time, oh yo, I gotta cut away. I'm sorry. Yo, let me finish this and I'll extend it. I gotta pay attention to my clothes. So I'll cut away and put part 2. I'll check you later.